So if you guys watch the play here, it's a fast break layup. As you can see, Paige is going 1-on-2. She goes up to block Jess, and Dijonai comes in from the back, reaches over, going for the block. But as you see, when the play goes in slow motion, it seems like Dijonai kind of scratches her in the face once again. And if you guys remember, one of the biggest, craziest storylines from last season was the whole eye poke saga. When I saw this play live, I said, oh.
Recent events in Dallas have sparked discussion regarding WNBA player Dijonai Carrington and officiating protocols. The Connecticut Sun guard found herself at the center of controversy following a game against the Chicago Sky when security personnel were positioned between her and game officials during a post-game conversation. Carrington's basketball career has been marked by aggressive play and several incidents that have drawn league attention. Her physical style of play has resulted in multiple confrontations with opponents, including documented instances of contact that some observers consider excessive. These previous encounters have established a pattern that influences how officials and security personnel approach interactions with the player.
Here we go again, because Dijonai Carrington has had so much spotlight on her for some of these really fiery plays, these flagrant fouls, and she is a spicy player. Like, there is no masking that. I kind of have the same reaction to this play like I did with the one with Caitlin Clark. I think this was an absolutely reckless play. Do I think she was trying to poke her in the eye or poke her in the face? No, I don't, but I think that this was super reckless. And I actually think it was reckless because she could have injured her own teammate in this situation. All of these women are going full steam ahead down the court. And Paige Bueckers, as you can see, she's going 1-on-2, but she had it covered. The one who endured the most physicality in this play was actually Paige.
During the recent Chicago Sky matchup, game officials made the decision to request security presence when Carrington approached to discuss calls with referees. The player expressed confusion about this protocol, stating through social media that she was simply attempting to have a civil discussion with the officiating crew. However, security personnel maintained their position throughout the conversation. The incident has divided basketball analysts and content creators. Some argue that officials overreacted to what appeared to be a routine player-referee interaction. These voices suggest that such security measures are unprecedented and unnecessary for standard game discussions. They contend that referees should handle player conversations without additional personnel intervention.
At this point, I'm starting to believe she's his favorite player. He need to just make a bunch of videos about her every day, because he's clearly not for Caitlin. He's infatuated with Dijonai Carrington, bro. I can promise you this. I can put together a video collage breaking it down how much he loves Dijonai Carrington, bro. Because at this point, dog, it's looking bad, bro. It's just looking bad. And somebody got to say something. Y'all know your boy John Liquid. They're always going to say something, man. So Dijonai Carrington had a situation at the game yesterday whenever she played the Chicago Sky, where security got involved.
Conversely, other observers point to Carrington's history of physical altercations and aggressive behavior as justification for enhanced security protocols. This group references previous incidents involving the player, including confrontations with opponents and teammates that have required intervention. They argue that officials have legitimate safety concerns based on documented patterns of behavior. The controversy extends beyond the immediate incident to broader questions about player conduct and league response mechanisms. Some content creators have consistently defended Carrington's actions, while others maintain that her behavior warrants increased scrutiny and preventive measures. This divide reflects larger discussions about acceptable conduct standards in professional basketball.
Yes, the security got involved, and she had the audacity to say, I don't see why security got to be involved. I'm having a civil conversation with the referees. Anything you do, security got to be involved. You couldn't even get in a damn Uber car without police being called. And you think you don't have any issues.
Carrington's playing style has drawn comparisons to combat sports rather than traditional basketball approaches. Her physical encounters with opponents have resulted in injuries and ejections throughout her career. These incidents have created a reputation that follows her interactions with officials and influences game management decisions. League officials have not issued formal statements regarding security protocols for specific players. However, the visible presence of security personnel during routine referee conversations represents an unusual step step in professional basketball operations. Such measures typically appear only during heated altercations or ejection situations. The incident raises questions about long-term consequences for players whose conduct creates additional security requirements. Professional sports leagues maintain standards for player behavior both during and after games. Repeated violations can result in escalating disciplinary measures, including suspensions and fines.
Like, did we all forget about the Uber situation? She's somebody that looked forward to content and violence and all of this stuff just so she can stay trending, bro. Let's check out this clip right here, bro. So this is Dijonai Carrington X account right here, guys.
Basketball observers note that Carrington's situation reflects broader challenges facing women's professional basketball as the league grows in popularity and scrutiny. Player conduct that might have received minimal attention in previous seasons now generates significant discussion and analysis across multiple media platforms. The security presence during referee conversations represents an escalation in game management protocols. Whether this becomes a standard procedure for certain players or remains an isolated incident will depend on future interactions and league policy decisions. The precedent established in this situation may influence how officials handle similar circumstances moving forward.
And this is the clip she put out yesterday, which we'll go over that later, but we have to see this clip. Let's upload it. Let's check it out. Yes, a security guard is standing in between Dijonai Carrington and the referee. Because you want to know why? Because you have a proven track record of violence. Yes, violence, bro. You poke people in the eye, you choke slam girls, you do whatever it takes to get one off. And I don't blame this damn referee for having security step in front of you because, just like I said, you're a thug.
How far along are the Dallas Wings in the WNBA season? They've played just 3 games so far, and already Dijonai Carrington has drawn attention for an intense incident involving her fingernails near an opponent's eye. Seriously, did Carrington really attempt to scratch out someone's eye only 3 games into the campaign? On top of that, league officials have launched an investigation following the Dallas Wings versus Minnesota Lynx matchup. This controversy is rapidly gaining traction among fans and analysts alike, many labeling her actions not only dangerous but possibly deliberate. The season has barely begun, yet we're witnessing eye-gouging attempts. Carrington's actions have been compared to Ric Flair's infamous eye pokes on the Von Erichs back in 1983. It begs the question, what's happening here? What's even more alarming is that this isn't the first time Carrington has been criticized for risky, overly aggressive behavior on the court. Just last season, she drew backlash after fouling Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, igniting similar outrage from the media and fans. This pattern is far from amusing, especially considering recent events.
You're a gangster. Yes. Bro, I don't see Dijonai Carrington being in the league that much longer, bro. I told y'all, she's the last one standing, bro. Anybody that wronged Caitlin Clark, assaulted her in any shape, form, or fashion is gone. She's the last one standing, bro. And what's crazy to me is that people try to justify this behavior. That's what pisses me off. It's like people... Y'all allow these people. Y'all give these people clarity. Y'all give these people views when they show you who they are.
Concerns are mounting about player safety and whether the league is adequately addressing such conduct. Take a look at the foul in question. After a missed shot, Heidman pushes forward and passes to Shepard, who's immediately met with heavy contact. Shepard gets up and glares at Carrington while teammates try to hold her back. The eye gouge that has everyone talking occurred during the Dallas Wings and Minnesota Lynx game. If the replay was seen, the reason behind all the buzz becomes clear. Carrington leaps for a chase down block, and in the scramble, her hand clashes with Jessica Shepard and Paige Beakers. Beakers nearly injures her leg in the process. However, the controversy ignites when Carrington's fingers curl toward her opponent's face. It was a fast break layup. Paige is advancing, attempting a block on Shepard, while Carrington comes from behind trying to stop the play. Slow motion footage reveals her fingers seemingly scratching the opponent's face intentionally, which has fans and commentators convinced it wasn't accidental.
Quit allowing these people to brainwash you and show you who they are. That's his favorite player, bro. And this isn't the first time he has justified Dijonai Carrington wrong behaviors, bro. I'm telling you right now, she is a villain. She is dangerous, and she damn sure do not need to be on a basketball court, bro.
Social media exploded almost instantly, with voices demanding disciplinary action before the game even ended. Watch closely from this angle. Paige is already positioned well defensively with a hand on the ball, ready to contest. Then Carrington charges in from behind aggressively. This chase down is reckless. The issue isn't just the contact, but the intent behind it. Throughout the game, Carrington played with high defensive energy, but when the intensity escalated, she didn't just go for the ball. Her hand aimed directly at the opponent's eye. This was no ordinary hard foul or a mere accident due to positioning. The motion of her fingers scraping across the face led some analysts to call it outright malicious. One even compared it to Ric Flair's eye pokes from wrestling history. Not even in the roughest NBA eras have players gone this far.
I'm telling you right now, Dijonai Carrington need to be put in the octagon, bro. She need to be a UFC fighter. Then she captioned this post. Security when I'm literally having a civil conversation is insane. Mind you, he called the security over.
Carrington pushes Shepard and Buckers forward, manages the block, but watch Buckers' legs carefully. This is where the danger lies. Some might argue it's just part of basketball or claim the reaction is too sensitive, but this level of play is erratic, frustrated, and uncontrolled. The commentator's disbelief is clear. They slow down the footage, freeze it exactly when contact occurs, and point out how Carrington's fingers never actually touch the ball. A commentator expressed a blunt opinion, asserting there's no doubt the incident was a deliberate eye gouge. This is the kind of reaction the play provoked beyond surprise. It stirred real anger. Paige's legs gave out beneath her, causing her to fall directly onto her back after being pushed forward. Not only was she pushed ahead, but the aggressor also had her hand on the ball before quickly pulling it back. The issue at hand is bigger than a single injury. It concerns the message this sends across the entire league.
Which is crazy, which is absolutely crazy. But obviously, this is the clip right here. So Dijonai is trying to talk to the referee at the end of the game, and the referee pulls security in front. The referee moves the security in front of him so that the security gets in between him and Dijonai Carrington.
The response wasn't limited to the commentators. Once the clip circulated on social media, outrage exploded instantly. Fans demanded swift action from the WNBA, while analysts started reviewing Carrington's past to determine if this behavior was part of a larger pattern. The league announced an official investigation within hours, yet many felt the response was insufficient. The main questions circulating were, how did things escalate to this point, and what happens if incidents like this continue to occur on the court? What is happening in the league's culture? Some pointed out that even in the era of the tough Pistons known as the Bad Boys, such deliberate and dangerous acts like trying to gouge someone's eyes were unheard of. This wasn't just a reckless play, it was a serious threat. The risk involved extends beyond immediate harm. Eye gouges can cause lasting damage that might sideline players for weeks or even end their careers. Critics argue that regardless of the game's intensity, there is a boundary that should never be crossed, and Carrington clearly crossed it.
Like, what are we doing? Regardless of your feelings on Dijonai Carrington, this is just ridiculous. 42 in the ball, the other words, they always make the game about themselves. And Dijonai Carrington, security, when I'm literally having a civil conversation and saying, mind you, he called the security over there. He called the security. He called the security. Like,
calls for meaningful penalties, not just fines or warnings, grew louder. Delays in action from the league risk conveying that hazardous conduct is acceptable. Moreover, the play was particularly careless as it endangered not only the opposing player, but also Carrington's own teammate. All players were moving at full speed, with Paige Buckers going one-on-one and well covered. Yet, it was Paige who bore the brunt of the physicality, not Jess or DJ Jane. Smarter decisions were expected in that moment. There was no need to pursue the ball with such force. The situation becomes even more complex as more details emerge from Carrington's career. This incident might not be isolated. The discussion has evolved from one reckless act to questioning whether a recurring issue exists that the league must confront.
Like, look, regardless of what you think of Dijonai Carrington, that is a joke. That is an absolute joke that she got the security called on her. And by the way, if she said something bad enough, the security would be called on her, you would hope that she would be getting suspension. But again, these referees, we saw it with Caitlin Clark. You better believe those referees would have called security on Caitlin Clark. Anyway,
As of May 22nd, 4 days after the WNBA announced its investigation, no updates have been shared publicly. Reviewing Carrington's history reveals troubling moments beyond the recent controversy. Notably, her aggressive defense in a game against Caitlin Clark sparked attention, not just for her physical play, but particularly for the contentious use of her fingernails. No foul was officially called on the incident, yet slow-motion replays clearly revealed Carrington's nails scraping across Clark's face. Cameras captured Clark instinctively rubbing her cheek immediately after the contact, and those freeze frames quickly circulated online. This sparked a debate among fans and analysts alike, questioning whether Carrington's aggressive style was simply tough defense or if it crossed an unacceptable boundary. This was in fact a notorious eye gouge moment where Carrington's fingernails seemed to dig toward Clark's eye. It was one of many physical confrontations Clark endured. Her nails soon became a recurring topic of discussion. One commentator humorously dubbed her Denny Scissor Hands, a nickname that stuck because critics viewed her nails less as grooming and more as weapons in close contact situations. Each time Carrington was involved in a rough play, the nickname resurfaced, fueling claims that her approach was more reckless than competitive. As one analyst joked, while her nails might be stylish off the court, on the court they appeared more like dangerous tools.
They would have called security on Caitlin Clark. Like, you better believe. You better believe they would have, if they could have. Like, it's ridiculous. Number 42, go ref, 7-year-olds, Evie scared you arguing a call. WNBA is there no space for hate, ref needs to lose their job. Him stepping behind the security guard like the league deserves competent refs. And the fact the player has come out, and by the way, you can see him literally out there looking at the security. So he actually called the freaking security on a player.
This issue wasn't isolated to a single player. The pattern of questionable contact kept accumulating, making it increasingly difficult to overlook. Carrington's aggressive style was undeniable and raw. The same criticism emerged after another incident similar to the one involving Clark. Many argued that this behavior was clearly beyond the bounds of professional basketball. Comparisons were drawn between her recent encounter with the Lynx and the earlier clash with Clark. Both featured her hands dangerously near an opponent's face, with contact that seemed anything but accidental. Observers were certain that the eye gouge was intentional, not accidental. There's no way to convince me otherwise, one analyst insisted, pointing out the cupped fingers executing a deliberate scraping motion. The situation brought to mind Ric Flair's notorious eye pokes in wrestling, and some even suggested that Carrington's tactics seemed more appropriate for the wrestling ring than a basketball court. Such intensity raised serious questions about the league's tolerance for physical play. Adding to concerns, Carrington exhibited clear signs of frustration and aggression during the match. Her body language spoke volumes. After a particular moment, she was visibly upset, pacing and looking toward the ceiling in apparent irritation. It wasn't clear whether her frustration was aimed at a teammate's shot choice or contact from an opponent during a rebound, but her anger was unmistakable. Supporters argue that Carrington simply plays with passion and refuses to back down, yet the mounting evidence suggests otherwise. Multiple incidents with similar outcomes make it increasingly difficult to dismiss these as mere accidents or bad luck. Some have bluntly called her either uncoordinated or intentionally reckless, pointing out that no natural movement would cause such deliberate scraping across an opponent's eye.
This particular ref is so recognizable, even his back turned, can't stand him. No space for hate. I'm sorry. I don't understand what a referee calling security has to do with space for hate. I don't understand. It's just the people are just saying no space. Like, these WNBA fans are just saying no space for hate no matter what. Like, they'll start quoting Centel posts with no space for hate. And it works the opposite way around as well.
The league's reluctance to impose harsher penalties only deepens the frustration. Many fans question whether the WNBA is turning a blind eye because Carrington adds drama and draws attention, but few believe that compromising player safety is an acceptable trade-off. This kind of conduct is unfortunate, yet it appears to be tolerated, if not implicitly encouraged. Last season's rhetoric about the league being physical continues to echo, blurring the line between hard play and dangerous behavior. This league is far from lacking talent, so what strategy comes into play? It's about making things messy on the court and getting physical. When dealing with a boxer-like intensity, the stakes are serious. A minor scratch on the face is one thing, but an injury to the eye can sideline a player for weeks or even end a career altogether. This is why the discussion is gaining momentum. Is this just Carrington losing control in the heat of competition, or does it highlight a larger problem regarding how physicality is managed in the league? More voices are urging that these incidents shouldn't be dismissed as isolated events. There's a growing call for the WNBA to reassess its policies and question if enough is being done to safeguard players. Some suggest reviewing Carrington's college footage to see if targeting opponents' eyes is a recurring tactic. Has this behavior been ongoing for a while? Serious concerns are emerging that the league's current response will shape what's permissible on the court in the future. If these dangerous plays continue unchecked, what message does that send about the WNBA's commitment to player protection? History seems to repeat itself, waiting for a serious injury before taking action. This brings the core issue into sharp focus. Is the WNBA falling short when it comes to player safety? The recent eye gouge and the league's muted reaction have sparked widespread debate. Fans, analysts, and former players alike are criticizing the disciplinary system, calling it too lenient. Protecting players must remain a priority because incidents like these can escalate quickly, and no one wants athletes sidelined due to reckless fouls.